Yes, it is that time of year, graduation season 2019. Now, I'm down here in beautiful Orinda, California. Look at that. Beautiful dogs walking around in Orinda. And so I'm down here. This is one of my most favorite gardens that I ever helped put together. It's taken like 6 years or so. Super fantastic clients here. The best thing about these guys is, it's like, hey, you know, the cooler in the pool room has plenty of cold beer in it. Help yourself, and jump in the pool if you get too hot. Those are my kind of clients. Anyway, yeah. So only the cool people shop at Golden Gate Palms, and these people are about as cool as it gets. And the lame people, they shop at other nurseries that are much more lame. But anyway, this house is such a beautiful Moroccan fantasy here. Take a look at this tile work. This place was originally the home of Fry's Electronics guy, and he spent tons and tons and tons of dough here, making this place just unreal. And my clients got a hold of it after he suddenly decided to leave, and probably got a pretty good deal on it. But then they continued their expansion of the property and the perfection of it. There's this beautiful arcade here. It is so beautiful. As you can see, we're doing some finishing touches here to a few more plants that we'll tell you about. But I say we take a garden tour. The only thing that needs to happen here is this is a 1960s style aggregate concrete, and it absolutely does not belong to this architecture. There's some really strange things that were done here that didn't really make sense in considering. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Whoa! So cool! Yeah, there it goes. Anyway, so not sure why that's in the sky, a little festival or something. But anyway, the gardens here, this kind of a driveway should not have been put in this type of home. It should be a colored concrete or stone, or something a little bit more timeless than something that was popular in the 60s. It might have been a renovation thing. Like this looks like a very aged material here. The driveway is in wonderful shape, except for the fact that it's like absolutely the wrong material for the architecture. But anyway, we'll start the garden tour here. What did I put right here? That, my friends, is a Chilean wine palm. Beautiful palm. Go to my video. It's if you Google saving Juby, you'll find that, Jubea chilensis. And you'll learn all about that palm. These are canary palms that I used to trim when I was younger and dumber. And so I would get up there, and that's a tough job. So those are great. And then you'll see there's actually some offspring of the canary palms. You have to be very careful of canary palms because they'll make babies all over, and they look really beautiful when they're young, but then they get absolutely enormous. A more appropriate palm to plant would be Livistona chinensis. Beautiful filler palm, and it behaves very nicely and doesn't grow fast at all. And you can see the color juxtaposition of the formium onto the Livistona. That's what you're always trying to do, color contrast, any way you can achieve that. And of course, in here we have a little bit of a rainforest garden. This is one of the new additions in here. We have a loquat tree, gives a tropical canopy effect, makes some nice fruit. We have Chamaedorea microspadix, a very cold hardy bamboo palm from Mexico that makes really beautiful orange seeds and green ringed trunks. This plant is hardy to about 15 degrees, believe it or not. From the rainforest of Mexico. From the rainforest of Brazil, we have philodendron, has the big, giant, beautiful leaf, always great in a subtropical garden. Here's a plant called Choisia, and it makes a fragrant white flower. It's a nice filler plant. That was probably here before I did my stuff, but I probably planted about half the plants here and did a bunch of design for the hardscape in the back that we'll see. This is Chamaedorea cataractarum. And this plant is native to Mexico as well, and it will be a beautiful filler plant in here. It's a great spot for it. Okay, so let's kind of cruise the gardens. Dasylirion right there from Mexico. Beautiful stone steps leading up to the gorgeous arched entry here with the Spanish wrought iron style gate. This is just ligustrum going over the top. It's been trained into an arch. Here's this sort of xeric garden we did back here with gravel. It's sort of a more Mediterranean feel. We have a fig. We have the classic pomegranate. We have all of these wonderful plants in here, a variegated yucca, a grapevine forming an arch to a lower garden. There's a funny grade change here, so I had to build all these rocks and make this lower level. These are little strawberry guavas, beautiful roses. Look at that. Roses are always good in a Spanish garden. Look at this ancient olive press. That's pretty cool. So they've got all these wonderful artifacts. We put a little bench at the end of this area here. Here's a really interesting plant. This is the end of the life of a agave villemoriana, the octopus agave. They make thousands of babies off the flower spike. Okay, here's the giant canary palm that I used to labor so hard to trim. I'm not doing that anymore, but we can get that done for you. So if you really need your canary palm trim, you can still call me. I just won't be the one doing it. A big giant Beschneria, and this is a plant called Polygala, South Africa. Here's a Dipsis decipiens. This is going to be the most incredible palm here someday. Believe it or not, look up Dipsis decipiens on the internet. Really nice aloe, stracciatella. We have agave, bracteosa. I love this. It looks like a tillandsia. There's no thorns in this plant, people. Come to my nursery and buy them. They're so fantastic. We planted some avocados back here. I made this circular patio. That's so nice in the space. That's a real nice stone from Idaho that we used. Kind of a sort of a more xeric garden back here. Then we enter what amounts to the rainforest garden in this area in here. See if I can get through this. There we go. Here we go. Lava rock, black lava rock pathway leads all through here. And there's where it happens down there. There's the party pad. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So we have these stone staircase. This garden was very, very different when I came, and we did a lot of editing to the hardscape as well as the plants. This is a Livistona australis palm from Australia. You have some. They really wanted these yuccas in here. I was like, well, there's not enough light because we have these cedar trees like up here, and they want to try them anyway. And guess what? Sometimes my clients know more than me because they actually succeeded. They don't look as good as I think they'd look if they're in the sun, but they look good enough. There's a blue Mediterranean fan palm in the back. We'll talk about the one in the front later. There's a beautiful Monstera deliciosa back here. It's just this whole jungle effect. They made a putting green, like right here. It's really nice, just above the pool. What else do we have in here? We have a shaving brush palm from New Zealand. We have another Livistona palm. We have a type of philodendron that's related to the one out front, but this one's much more miniature. That's called Xanadu. We have Ligularia. We even have some king palms. Now, this garden is extremely cold. It freezes really badly here. But when you're down underneath all of this forest canopy, the frost can't get in here. So you can use things like the shaving brush palm, which is more tender to frost, and things like the philodendrons, even the king palm, which is pretty sensitive. You've got your shrine over here. I told him this needs to be the Day of the Dead area here, and we're going to get like a shrine out here with candles and all kinds of cool stuff so that, you know, you can have the Day of the Dead spot because it's a full Mexican landscape. These are all timbers that were recycled and brought here. One of the things they recently did was they put in this pool house out here, which is really fantastic. And next to the pool, the stonework, we have Diamondia, wonderful plant. It's called living concrete. Look that one up. It's wonderful for stepping stones, for walking on. It takes foot traffic. This is a farm of hybrid, a very special farm of hybrid Strelitzia reginae. It's hybridized with Strelitzia juncea, the leafless bird of paradise, so it gives it a very beautiful, upright, and neat look. We'll probably be the only ones that have this plant. We're going to try to multiply it. Let's go check out the pool room for kicks. This beautiful little sink in here. Some wonderful, trippy art. That's very colorful. Just a beautiful space. They worked really hard to get this done. And there's a nice bathroom in here. And watched the Warrior game last night. They lost. But wonderful little trinkets on the walls. You look out at the pool, and we just got done adding a few palms to the back. This is so you have regular Trachycarpus palms back here. These palms are native to China, and they get the hairy trunk. It's the common Chinese fan palm, windmill palm, and they're nice palms. But I'll tell you a nicer palm, and we're the only ones that have them. Woo, woo, woo! Is its sister palm, Trachycarpus to kill. There's no common name, so I call it one of my clients called it the to kill for palm. There you go. There's a video on YouTube I made. But look at the foliage. It's silvery. It doesn't droop here like the other one does. The other one's more sloppy looking. And it also has tightly oppressed hair on the trunk versus the, the real loosey-goosey hair on the palm that looks more like my leg. This looks like my leg when my hair is perfectly trimmed on my leg. Actually, no, I've never done that. Never done that. Guadalupe palm in the pot. It's drought tolerant enough to handle potted conditions. They had a big issue with the swimming pool where they had this stupid concrete all around that didn't make any sense, and they redid it all with this beautiful tan stone, some of which they're going to redo the driveway soon, and they'll be using a lot of the stone in the driveway. Beautiful upper terrace. A fire pit centered in the middle. Big open space. This open space here is for lounge chairs. We have an outdoor kitchen over here. Beautiful pots everywhere. My client here, she takes wonderful care of her succulents. Actually, her mom comes up here from San Diego. I've met her before, and she does this wonderful artwork, and she's totally into succulents, and she's got it going on. You can see he used the Moroccan Mexican tiles on the steps. That's what you want to do. But look at the artwork that my client's mom makes. How cool is that? Look at that. Beautiful statues and really interesting things that she does. And I'm not going to release her name because I wouldn't want her to be overwhelmed by your excitement on what she does. But anyway, we'll keep running around the property. Another beautiful succulent island. I remember the day I put this palm in. It was like 7-8 years ago. That was a job getting it back here. You have a hanging bench in the back. Some idea I thought of just recently here when we added these plants is that we have all this tropical foliage on this side, and then we have this just void on this side. I was so dumb that I didn't think about this last time. So I just planted some more Trachycarpus palms in here. They're small now. I had a very small space to deal with. So we put those in. They will grow up, and I will show you what they will soon look like. They'll create a beautiful wall of tropical foliage, which will balance this garden out. Look at this. There's more. Look at these statues. They're so cool. Look at that. How cool is that? Look at the definition. Look at the emotion of the face holding the flowers. Isn't that pretty? Love it. This is the rose garden in here. Beautiful roses. Smells so good. Roses go great with Spanish gardens. Spanish missionaries brought the roses with them. These here, my friends, are pineapple guava right there. You can actually take these petals off and you can eat them like that. And they're so good. It tastes like bubble gum. And, whoops, I took the whole thing off. You don't want to take the whole flower off. The center of the flower will make the fruit. If you just eat the petals, well, then when you leave this part on the tree, you'll still get a pineapple guava fruit. So I blew it. They're not going to get a fruit in this flower, but there's more here. So those are pineapple guava. Got some containers over here with mint in them. This is where everybody needs to figure out where their garbage is going to go. Got to put it somewhere convenient, out of sight. This is a perfect spot behind this beautiful wall. They had an issue with privacy. There's a road over here, and the neighbor, they wanted to kind of block out a bit. So we put in Trachycarpus palms, the same little palms I planted in the back, and they were allowed to grow up amongst the phormiums. You can see the phormium and the Trachycarpus create a wonderful backdrop to the property. And then now we're back out to the front here. Right here we have really interesting palm. This is the dwarf Trachycarpus palm here, and it makes this dwarf foliage. And I sprinkled 5 of these palms in this configuration here around this fountain. And you can see what they do. They grow much slower than the typical Chinese fan palm that we just saw over there, the windmill palm. And they don't get as big, and they're just see right through them. They're more silhouette-y, and you can see what the overall look is here when you come up and you get them in a group. But that's a really nice, well-behaved palm. I might even make a video just on those palms here in a minute. And there's my buddy Chris, former Navy SEAL as of like a month ago, after 10 years of saving your country, keeping you safe. This man now decided he wanted to work for Golden Gate Palms, which is kind of like being a Navy SEAL, except no one's shooting at you. Is that kind of how you describe it, Chris?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
You having fun?
Oh yeah. Have
All
a great
right.
time.
We're having a great time. Go down to San Diego to my Airbnb, and Chris is managing that place down there. You'll see that soon. Okay, we're gonna finish the garden tour. So look at the garage doors, are so beautiful here. Look at this hand-hewn wood. Who has doors like that? Look at that, look at the hardware. So cool. Look at the lights, so awesome. So we put a hybrid coconut queen in right here. They have an issue where they had a giant tree in here and they decided that the tree had to go. They had a big gap now, so they wanted something that will block the air conditioning unit. So you can see how this works. This is a great palm I planted years ago called Paroides wrightii. It's the Everglades palm, native to Florida swamps. That's a really cool palm. Look that up. We hardly ever sell that palm, but it's really wonderful. It gets a really nice, it looks like a Mediterranean fan palm, but really elegant because the trunk is not that thick. It's just a little thin, dainty, elegant trunk. It has a very elegant frond, more elegant than the Mediterranean fan palm. It's also more translucent. Okay, and the thorns aren't nearly as bad. There's just barely any little thorns in here, whereas the Mediterranean fan palm has a lot. So finishing the garden tour, it's a little beat up in here. And this is a Phoenix reclinata, reclining date palm. It's a multiple trunk tree. It's gonna be a big bush. Right now it's totally tied up, but it's gonna fill this entire space when we untie it. These shock a little bit, so we're gonna leave it tied up until it really gets settled in. And that, my friends, is pretty much the end of the garden tour, except let me show you probably the coolest thing here. I got this really super beautiful blue Mediterranean fan palm. And they have this real green area out front. All the plants out here are really green. There's a Pieris plant back there. There's some Pieris is this one here. It's native to, I believe, Japan. Has beautiful red new foliage, but it's really dark green. They have Daphnes out here, real fragrant Daphnes, slightly variegated. They have dark green Camellias cinqua, and they have a nice rim of boxwood. This boxwood rim was here, and I'm like, you need a centerpiece. You got to have a centerpiece in this green forest. So I put in this ultra silvery blue Mediterranean fan palm, which is just iridescent looking, especially when it's in front of green backdrop foliage like that. Isn't that so beautiful? So that's pretty much it. I'll back up and give you a little frame of the whole front and just pretend that this driveway is going to be a beautiful stone. That's the last thing they have to do here. And I'm sure this video is going to bug the owner because I keep telling him that they need to finish this place. And the last thing they have to do is that driveway. But I bet you we'll do a follow-up video. It'll be gone and it'll look something like right out of Valencia, Spain. There you go. The Alhambra.